Hey everybody, Tony Bacigalupo here, and I wanted to share with you a little bit about a project that I'm working on called the Reconnection Challenge. It's part of a larger project that I'm working on to help rid the world of loneliness and cultivate a sense of belongfulness. So, what I've been studying recently has been all around what does it take to fix this issue that so many people feel isolated, so many people feel alone. And of course, the pandemic has been a major factor in this, but this was a problem even before the pandemic hit. We've talked about the epidemic of loneliness for a long time. And so there's a lot of factors that go into it, but one of the big ones that has come up is the issue of what does it mean to belong to yourself? And the reason that this is a big deal is because even if you're super social, even if you're finding really great event programming, you can go out there, make an amazing network of friends, and still come home at the end of the day and still feel lonely. What's up with that? Or even worse, you could get caught up in the social dynamics of a particular group that you're a part of and lose yourself in the course of being a part of that group or a part of that relationship. And what that all comes back to is your need to have a healthy relationship with yourself. And so, what I am teaching in the Reconnection Challenge is a number of modules, but the first one is around belonging to yourself. And that's because that's our foundation. That's where we want to start. And so I'll start with that in terms of just a few little slides that I have for us. And really it starts with, again, belonging to yourself. And one of the pieces that I've actually almost overlooked, not looked over, but overlooked, is journaling. We've seen this documented so many times in so many different forms of media. I'm a big fan of The Artist's Way, Julia Cameron's seminal work, and she talks about the value of morning pages. But journaling is incredibly essential as a way of building a relationship to yourself. I've done a ton of journaling over the years at various times. Sometimes I've just been really consistent. First thing in the morning, get out of bed, pen and paper, or typey type on the computer. Julia and a lot of people recommend journaling by hand, but I also personally, I like the idea of being able to open up a text prompt on a computer, turn the screen off, and just chatter away with my keyboard. And then also, if I have anything that I want to be able to copy out that I might use for something else, some of the material that I wrote for this course, I created just through stream of consciousness writing. But what you end up doing is you end up creating a little bit of a separation between the voice inside of you and you. You get to have that voice go onto a page where you can then look back and see what it's saying to you instead of it kind of quietly having this drumbeat of activity in your mind that's telling you various things that it wants you to do or wants you to think. You're having it unwind a little bit. I liken it to untangling a ball of Christmas lights. It's like the more that you journal, the more that you're just taking things and bringing them apart and laying that out so you can see everything the way that you need them to. So I'm a huge fan of journaling. If you don't do any journaling currently, check it out. A lot of people do already have a journaling practice or they've tried it and decided it's not for them. But if you haven't tried it, highly recommend it. 3 pages a day is the morning pages routine. And if you like a tech tool for this, I am a huge fan of 750words.com, 750words.com. Buster Benson, the founder, is just an amazing dude and really great community of writers on there. Next up, going for a walk is essential for you to get in touch with yourself. Getting out of the house, being in the environment around you, moving your body, breathing fresh air, it's absolutely life-changing. I know it sounds so simple. All the things I'm going to talk about in the course of all of these conversations are crazy, silly, simple. But it's true. Going for a walk helps you to move out of the funk that you might be in, just being kind of stuck in your own space, especially during COVID, being stuck inside a lot. Getting out, breathing air, moving your body. There's so much that you can do there. And you start to get in touch with the environment around you. If you put your phone away, if you keep your headphones away, and you're just looking and absorbing the environment around you, I guarantee you, if you just go out and look for something that's going to catch your eye, I want to say the word magic. Maybe you will find something magical, but I'll settle for interesting. You'll be shocked how quickly you find something. So keep that in mind. Going for a walk, hugely important. And then cataloging your interests. So often we have interests from when we were younger that we just never get to revisit. We get busy with life. And a lot of those interests are a part of our soul, a part of who we are. So one of the exercises I take folks through is to look at what were you interested in when you were a child? What were you into when you were in middle school, for example, that maybe you're due to revisit. So we talk a little bit about interests and visiting new places in your neighborhood, in your city. What are some places that you haven't been to before? Maybe a park, maybe a space that has some events in it, a museum. And how can you track those down? Can you pull up a map application and just troll around your city, literally just on a map application, looking for something you haven't seen before? If you're going for long walks, maybe you'll stumble on it. Just for example, 2 weeks ago, I went to the Society of Illustrators, which has a museum exhibit here in New York City, a walking distance from my home. And it turns out they have this incredible upstairs cafe event space. I had no idea it was there, but I can't wait to go back there and join for one of their events. And I just didn't know it was there. I didn't know what was going on. Not every place, promotes as loudly as they can. And so sometimes you dig up some stuff that you didn't realize was out there waiting for you to find it. So things like that I find to be very useful. And that's kind of the gist of some of the topics that we cover in the course of the Reconnection Challenge. If you're interested in learning more, head to belongful.co, belongful.co, to learn more.